Hello Inigame fans! We have a supersized lot of big content patches in October, so much so that I had to split it into two videos, but there really are some fantastic updates, with part 1 being rather rogue-lite heavy.
Hello and welcome to the first major update for Rogue Legacy 2. We heard you loud and clear regarding content, so we wanted to go big. We've crammed in almost 2 entire updates for this patch, so expect a ton of changes. When creating Rogue Legacy 2, we wanted to fully realize the vision of a more Metroidvania-esque experience. This means finding new powers, unlocking new paths, and constantly expanding the player's abilities as they traverse the kingdom. We're really emphasizing this by releasing 2 new biomes with this content patch, Axis Mundi and the Kerguelen Plains.
We begin of course with Rogue Legacy 2 The Far Shores, the first content patch for the sequel to one of my favorite indie games of all time. This update comes about 2 months after the early access launch, expanding the campaign, adding new areas, new rooms, new heirlooms and more. It also improves upon the classes with something known as Talent 2.0, with every class having their own unique abilities. They also added something from Full Metal Furies in the Mastery XP system, a Unity system for equipment, more antiques, a new class, new NPCs, rebalancing and so much more.
The Duelist is fast and agile, and can perform air-to-ground combos while dodging out of danger. It's one of the quickest and highest damage dealing classes in the game, but this is offset by a low health bar. And finally, the Chef is the first healing class introduced to Rogue Legacy. Deflect incoming projectiles with your massive frying pan and turn your enemies into toast. Cook a meal at any time to heal a portion of your health, but be careful, you're vulnerable while doing so. One of our main goals was to encourage players to use every ability each hero had to offer. We haven't quite achieved this, so we took full advantage of early access and went back to the drawing board. With this update, we're introducing Talents 2.0. Class talents have been tweaked to no longer require mana. Instead, they're charged in a unique way complementary to each class's playstyle. This also means the original 4 classes have been redesigned to accommodate the new system.
It really is a hefty content patch, where the patch notes for this are really extensive, and one aspect which I love is that with every update, the game's official poster will be updated and should become absolutely massive, and is something that perhaps I'll look into putting up on a wall.
To extend replayability and encourage trying new playstyles, we have a new mastery system, where each class levels up as you play them. Players that experiment with different classes will be rewarded for their efforts with permanent upgrades. We're also bringing in Equipment Unity, which grants you powerful bonuses when wearing equipment sets. As you upgrade gear, their Unity also increases, making even the lowliest early level items scale into New Game Plus and beyond. There's so much more to talk about with our first content release. We haven't even had the opportunity to discuss the new antiques, the new relics, the new traits, or the new NPCs you'll meet along the way. There's also optimizations, bug fixes, and technical features like widescreen support. This update is big, very big. So if you'd like to know more, check out the patch notes and join us on Discord and Twitter to become a part of the discussion.
The excellent local multiplayer title Overcooked 2 put out the free Moon Harvest update, which added some extra levels and recipes to do with the Chinese Mid-Autumn Festival. One of the best action roguelites in early access is Dreamscaper, which impressed right out of the gate with awesome action and the dreamy visuals. The Reflection update adds a new character, a new type of shop, secret rooms, new items and more. But most interesting is a new boss named Negativity, which is just perfect for a game that plays with the surreal and exploring mindscapes.
How did we get here? Did it start with King Arthur's arrogance? Or Merlin's tricks? Now time and matter are corrupted.
Tainted Grail did previously sponsor a video, but if you missed that, this is an excellent rogue-lite deck builder RPG that looks fantastic, where the Seeds of Corruption update added 2 new playable characters, 70 plus cards, 50 plus passives, and even weekly events, and looks like it might be headed to 1.0 very soon.
Enemies. And friends. To keep reality from falling apart. This is what the Age of Conquest brought upon us.
Subject 9001 escaped! She's entered the cursed temple! She's breaking everything!
Speaking of progress towards 1.0, the reverse Darkest Dungeon-like Legend of Keepers put out its biggest update to date, bringing it to version 0.9.0, so it sure is getting there. It adds a new dungeon master in the monkey engineer Lyra, whose focus is more on traps and mechanical monsters, with a new game mode, new units, traps, artifacts, and more. Very impressed so far, and the 1.0 should be a no-brainer. A neat, smaller Metroidvania title is the 1-bit Enter Digiton, which released the free Heart of Corruption DLC, adding 3 new bosses and more functionality. King of Crabs is a free-to-play Battle Royale title which is supposed to be in early access, but it was recently patched to version 1.10, which doesn't make sense, but it does add ranged weapons, a new unlockable Demon Crab skin, and the ability to mega-size your crab if you collect the right letters during a match.
This is Insurgency Sandstorm, a hardcore tactical FPS with lethal, close-quarters combat set in a grounded and gritty modern Middle Eastern conflict. My name is Michael Suruhas, and I'm the lead game designer here to talk about our latest free content update, Operation Breakaway.
The not-so-indie Insurgency Sandstorm has been putting out a number of free updates, with the latest being Operation Breakaway, which adds a new map, new weapons, more weapon mods, more cosmetics, and a new co-op mode named Outpost.
Retreat to the next objective area, but remember, you can only retreat so far. Players start off with low supply points and minimal equipment, getting more as the waves progress. You have to make do with what you have, and watch out for special enemy waves as well. This update introduces several new underbarrel weapon upgrades too. Breakaway will give you new foregrip options for faster aiming, faster reloading, and faster weapon switching. You also see 3 new underbarrel shotguns. The tube-fed pump-action master key, available for both teams, the magazine-fed M26 mass for security, and an improvised 40mm buckshot launcher for insurgents. We've also got 2 new weapons. the Allgate 3 for security, and the FAMAS F1 for insurgents, both for riflemen, demolitions, commander, and observer classes. The FAMAS F1 sports a high rate of fire and smaller magazine, while the Allgate 3 features controllable recoil with a slower fire rate. These small profile bullpup weapons are perfect for the close to mid-range fighting you'll be doing on the new map, Tell. Tell features a style of tight urban CQB that's different from our other maps. It ramps up the intensity of Sandstorm's signature hardcore combat by squeezing everyone together, but it still allows for diverse navigation routes. You'll see everything from narrow corridors, to congested buildings, to lengthy streets. Included in this update are a free set of rogue police-themed cosmetics for the Insurgent team, as well as free internal affairs-inspired cosmetics for security. We also have new paid DLC cosmetics coming that include rogue special forces for Insurgents and an up-armored urban fighter for security. You also see urban digital weapon skins for Insurgent weapons, and desert hex pattern skins for security. Breakaway update expands Sandstorm with a unique level environment, new weapon customization choices, and deeper aesthetic appeal of its factions. Our team is super excited to finally get this into your hands, and we really sincerely hope that you enjoy it. Check it out right now as a free update to Sandstorm. Follow us on @InsurgencyGame on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and join our official Discord. And we'll see you in the field.
In the news tonight, war has broken out over the last of the world's resources. The Facts News team has been able to secure interviews with battlefield commanders from the world's superpowers. We meet the commander known as Eagle Eye.
My name is Red. I like when things go boom.
Forts is a real-time strategy game with a physics core about launching attacks from your fort to take out your enemies, with the commander update rebalancing the commanders to shake up the meta.
And I see all. If you could introduce yourself, please.
My name's Lisa, they call me Firebird. It's like the fire's telling me what to do, but most of the time it's just telling me to start more fire.
Fucking hell. And now a word from our sponsor. Force is out now, featuring online multiplayer, single-player campaign, and introducing 9 powerful commanders. Build, fight, destroy, Force!
The spider hunting simulator, Kill It With Fire, has had some success since launch, with the Omega Fowls being the first update, adding more equipment, a new spider variant, and even additional accessibility options for arachnophobes, which is nice. Timelie is a time manipulation puzzle game from Thailand, so Southeast Asia represents, and they released the free Hell Loop DLC, which adds more than 30 levels, which amounts to about 10 hours of content. Like Positron X covered recently, I was surprised to discover that I missed out on Fallback in October 2019, so here's its second shot with version 2.0 titled Uprising. It overhauls the 6 character classes, adds a new level, alternative versions of the core levels which are more difficult, new achievements and more, but it does look awesome, so do give this a shot. Another local multiplayer title makes the list with Witchtastic Chapter 4, adding 9 new levels to this madcap potion brewing game. Staxel is a voxel first-person farming game that seems to be rather popular, although I myself did not really get along with it, with update 1.5 Hideaway Hollow adding more content. This adds a new island with bugs and fish to catch, mysterious caves, secrets and more. There are new NPCs, a new mystery merchant, and even additional quest lines, but the most important part is new pets and farm animals like a parrot, ducks and more.
A new hero approaches! Varfa and the mighty Orhu! Level up!
Meteor 4 Krumit's Tale is a pretty neat rogue-lite dungeon crawler with an art style that reminds me of Adventure Time, and they released a new character named Varfa the Ranger, who just so happens to come with a loyal companion Orhu, who seems to be some sort of primate. Playable characters are central to the experience of this game, so more new mechanics expected with this.
The road awaits!
On the darkest night of the darkest year, the shadows will walk free of the light, and the masks we wear will become our true. The quest for confections that calls you is an ancient plan drafted by a dark god with no name. Every 1,010 years, the gnarled roots of his hands reach into our realm. This time, humanity seems less inclined to resist the evil hands that would take us for their own toys. And so, if you wish to play, you'd better make sure of one thing. That you win.
Popup Dungeon released and impressed in August this year, and in time for the season, released a free Halloween update, adding 2 new characters, a zombie and a skeleton, with new Halloween-themed enemies, new equipment, and a new campaign which takes place on a cursed night, where trick-or-treaters' costumes have become reality. These are permanently unlocked, so there's no rush, but it does add more to a great game.
Take my offer, Necromancer, or resist. Your fate is already woven.
I am nobody's puppet.
I really enjoyed the Darkest Dungeon like Iratus Lord of the Dead, which made it through early access to 1.0 this year. Wrath of the Necromancer is the first paid DLC which adds 2 missions, more skins for your units, changes to the alchemy system, new enemies, and some really challenging looking bosses. The most important part of this is that it adds a new 6th floor to the game structure with a new ending, adding more to a good game, taking the #1 spot. To see more of the big picture, Check out these awesome videos and I will see you after the jump.
There will be a mountain of human heads when I'm done.